storm coming. I see it's headed straight for me.
Hey everybody, the Burge here again. This time with one of those sort of semi helpful, educational, you might kill yourself so don't sue me kind of videos. What I'm going to do, I'm going to be converting, well not really converting, I'm upping the ante on this particular unit, the APS or APC Smart UPS 1000. It's not the newest version, I don't think. It's one of the older ones. You can pick these things up next to nothing now because the batteries are all dying, and a lot of companies will just auction these off or sell them for nothing or throw them in the dumpster. I'm sure a lot of these get dumpster picked, but they're still good. They still work. You just need to replace the battery. So it's easy enough to replace battery. You take the front plate off, you pull out this metal plate, and you swap out the batteries for a new battery pack. However, what we're doing today is we're going to take the original batteries and we're going to replace them with these monsters. You're going to get more juice through the machine, and it is designed for these ones, even though the ones that come with it are these little ones. I actually have already taken this apart. That's how I know that it doesn't work, because I had the batteries tested and of course they were pooched, so I can't remember. Down below I'll put the little, the name of the batteries that normally are in this, and then the ones that I've replaced them with. I got them from a local supplier. I'll put a link to that too, because I don't know who it was. Can't recall the link, but it came fast. It was here in Canada, so it was no duty charges and everything else that they shove up your tail end with at the border. So let's get to it. First thing you got to do, there's two little prongs in here, and you're gonna pop those up nice and gentle. If you rip this off too hard, you're gonna break this ribbon cable in here, and pretzel. And dog pretzel. And you don't want to do that. You do not want to break this ribbon, twist it, turn it, pull it out. If you do that, then that's a whole different tutorial. So, set up top, nice and easy like this. Get two screws to remove, which I will do while using a pretzel. I don't know, those are good. Never do a video when you skip lunch. Just another tip. So, unscrew. Two screws. Like I say, I've already got the two batteries out of here. Take the plate. I think this tape, actually comes with it. It sticks to the front of this so that it flops down or something like that. I'm not sure what the tape's for. I'm going to be straight up honest with you. I think it was doing something when I pulled all this out. Anyways, the original, hopefully you can see there. Let's see if you can see. Yeah, you can see pretty good. Original batteries fit underneath these rails here. And in fact, this is the part that made me wonder, well, I'm looking at it and the batteries look so puny in it. Well, how come, what's all this space? And I thought, well, it's 12 volt. Why can't you have more juice in it? And that's when I started looking things up and found out, yeah, you can. It's the same system. We need to get rid of this rail, or this ain't gonna fit. Okay, so what you're gonna do is gently, this unit's still quite heavy. There's capacitors in there, I'm sure. Or a transformer, it looks like a transformer. Yeah, I guess that would make more sense. There's a big transformer in there, so it's still heavy even without the batteries in it. It's brutally heavy with the batteries in it, but that's good. Well, I guess that's not really that good, but that is the way it is. So you flip it outside nice and gentle. Again, you do not want to wreck this. This is where the pretzels come in handy. You're going to prop that thing up with your bag of pretzels. So I'm going to list that as, well, let's just turn this over a little bit more this way. So you can see on its side, pretzel bag, hold up the lid. Okay, and then you want to take out all 6 of these screws on the last one here, so that you can slide the casing out and get at the side things. Okay, so we've done that. Screws, all 6 screws are out. I'm gonna end up ripping this ribbon cable, and you might get the tutorial on how to put it back together to repair it. Okay. Okay, so I got it back on its feet, and we are going to gently slide the casing back till you can get at the, let's see if I can pull this up, the screws on the side here and here to take these rails out. Pop those in nice and gentle. And if it doesn't work nice and gentle, I'll do it with a little more force. There we go. One. And we'll do the other side. And a little force. That just pops right out. So there's your rails you want to remove. I'd say keep them in case it wants to be converted back, but why would you ever convert it back? I'd ask you that. Alright, so you can actually see that this is designed to have a long one in the front and the negative in the back, or the positive in the front, which is longer, and the negative in the back. So if we actually look at our batteries, you know, we can tell that this one's supposed to be in the back to the negative, positive to the front. But we've got to daisy chain these two things together. Plus, we need to install one of these. Now this is the trickiest part of it, I guess. This is a 60 amp. I don't know if I can get this thing to focus on that, but you just take my word for it otherwise. Let's see. Hey, it does. 60 amp blade fuse. Again, I'll put the name of what these things are actually called. They're like, not snap caps, there's a name for these fuses anyways. I had to go get some parts here from the store. I needed some better lugs. Went to Canadian Tire. Got a great place for them, but that's where I went. Because what we need to do, I'm actually doing two sets here. I'm doing two of these units. And you need to take these, I think they're RBC 7s is what the equivalent is to. The RBC 6 comes in this, now I think of it, and I went and looked it up. The RBC 6s are in it. We're doing the RBC 7s, which turns this, I believe, into a UPS 1000 XL. Just longer runtime, bigger batteries. But you gotta make sure these batteries are assembled or are aligned properly. You want your red and your black together, like so. So we're gonna glue these together with some hot glue. Heat gun's all heated up here. We are gonna apply some squishy glue right when my phone goes on. Oh, look at the steam come off that sucker. All right. I'm sure that's toxic. And we're gonna stick this guy to it. It's gonna cool pretty quick, so we're gonna line them up. Squish them on there. Snap, crackle, and pop. Yeah, those suckers cooled pretty quick. So, there is one completed battery, well, one glued battery pack. It's not quite complete. I'll do the same with this one. I suppose I could have cleaned them off a little better, but you don't think of these things till you're in the middle of it. And I'm running out of glue. Hot here. Line up my new glue stick. Get the other battery ready to go. Make sure they're going to go the right way. And let's glue. Oh, the fun. There we go. That should be enough glue. Over there. Line the faces up. And squish them together. Yep. Pretty good. And just like that, they're sealed. You could put some tape around them, I suppose. I don't think it's really necessary. They're not really going to go anywhere once they're in there. What we're going to do here, we have our fuse, we have our soldering iron. We need some flux, and we need a bit of soldering wire in there. All right. Sorry, you're on a stand. All right. So what we're going to do, I'm going to solder these two things together. I'm going to heat up my soldering iron. and then you're going to kind of awkward doing this with the camera at the good angle, but should suffice. You should be able to see. The tip good and hot. Part soldering too nice and hot, and then you'll see it all flowed and flew together. There we go. There we go. One jumper completed. I'm going to tape that up, obviously. I mean, if you're really anal, you could put shrink tubing on it. However, if it goes, you're going to have to undo all that stuff. So tape should be good. Like I said, these aren't moving around a lot in here. Shouldn't be anyways. So I'm going to just grab some tape here. It's still a little hot. Alright. I'll zoom out a little bit. I'm going to do a second one here, but for now that is basically our jumper wire, going from one negative terminal of the battery to the positive. Alright, so wrap tape around each of the lugs, or the connectors, and then tape the whole thing up. You don't want that touching anything. I'm just connecting these here now. I can find all the screws. Screws here. Oh, there we go. I think I'm going to put a bit of antioxidant on these things. They don't look that great, but connect that through there. We now have one daisy chain battery ready for connection on the other side. I don't know if I can get this in there. If this is moved around at all, I'd put a little, lock washer on there, but these things really aren't going anywhere. But you do want a good connection in there. Alright, so that is that. We're going to carefully bend this down. If we snap them off, I have to do it all over again, so let's not. Let's sort of bend this down so it'll fit into the casing. You could probably connect this in. You can probably tape it down if you wanted to, but I'm not going to tape it down. So, next step in this, we got two connectors, but they are incompatible. The connectors that we have, these are the push-on tab connectors, these are the lug style. So, screws here. So what we need to do is we need to do an adapter. We need something to go from there to there. Well, red to there, red to red. We need to push in a tab here, and we need a lug there. So basically what we are going to do is we'll get more parts. I will be back. Okay, back to the jumper. So we are going to strip this wire here. We're going to get into one of these crimp connectors. And unfortunately that fit very well actually. I'm doing the insulated ones here, so I can't really solder those on. My preference would be to solder it if I could, but I kind of want the two things here to overlap. The fewer exposed metal parts, one around inside a metal chassis, the better. So this is a blue, hit the blue, and give her a good crimper. Don't be afraid about crimping these things. Just don't want them coming out. So these cheapy little crimpers have a red, blue, and a yellow. In this case, we're using the blue on the blue. So that we have a connector that will go into here. Okay, and then on the other side of this, it doesn't have to be a long adapter. Actually, it should be pretty short. Cut. You are going to strip 12 gauge strip. Is that nice and tight? And we're going to take our proper lugs that fit on here, and we're going to put it in there. This material. Make sure you got a good connection from the metal to the metal, and then we're going to take our yellow tab on here, and we're going to crimp the bejesus out of this, because we do not want these coming apart. You know what? I don't like the crimp. I'm actually going to end up soldering these because I have exposed wire here. I can get at it. So let's do a second one like that. I actually am okay with that. 12 crimp, twist. Put this in there. Crimp it down with the yellow. And let's put a little flux on each one of these. A little flux in there. Just gonna let everything flow. A little flux in here. All right. On here, see if we can sort of readjust you. Realign you. We've got our jumper in place here, and we've got our two lugs that we just made, or converters, or whatever you want to call them here. But I don't have a little wrench. I want to tighten down this guy here. I don't have a wrench that will fit it, so I'm going to use. I don't want to jumper these two. I'm pretty sure if I touch those two together that there's a charge, and I'm going to let out a little girlish scream. So I want these tight. Without all of this spinning. Yeah, see, that's loose. I may end up doing a lock washer on this. We'll see how tight I can get this on its own. All right. Tighten up. Oh, actually, that might be all right. Okay. So we have that adapter, jumper, or that's the jumper. There's the adapter, and we got one more here to put on. Bolt into it. Okay, now we're getting somewhere. Completed replacement pack, the XL pack. Got your 60 amp fuse, jumpered red to black, red to black. We have red and black. This is where I'm gonna go get some tape for this. I don't have any red tape, but I do have some orange tape. Orange tape will do the job just fine, so that you can, at least it'll catch your eye, so you go, hey, why is there some orange tape on there? So tape that up. We now have red, orange, orangey red, red. Check our clearance, looks good. That way, got those on there tight. Okay, definite moment of truth. You're either going to see explosion and fire and smoke and screaming, or you'll see probably next to nothing. So here goes nothing. Little click sound is a good sound. Okay. So we're going to tuck the wire in. I'm actually kind of glad I used semi-flexible wire here. Or more flexible than I was thinking of using. Slide this in nice and easy. I can see why they make these things go horizontal. Make sure you're clearing all the electronics. We're going to gently as we can, bring the case back forward. So far, we've got no explosions, no sparks, no general unpleasantness. There we go. Find these screws, which I did set aside. in here. And we need to put this on its side nice and gentle. And put the 6 screw back up. I swear, the worst part of all of this, that little ribbon. Back in place. Okay, so I've actually got this thing up and running. I gave it a little charge. I used the test button and it fired up. So we're going to plug it in and see if smoke comes out this time. Alright. That to me looks like it's got almost a full charge. So there's definitely charge in there. Replace battery isn't on battery isn't on, overload isn't online is on, AVR trim isn't on, AVR boost, I actually don't know what those ones do, and there's no load because nothing's plugged in. Anyways, it weighs about, geez, I don't know, 50 to 80 pounds I would guess with those 2 batteries in there. It's quite heavy. But that's it. That's your whole, we've gone from dead UPS to live UPS. So if you found this helpful, and you learned something from it, or you got to use something from it, just like below. And there's lots more stuff on this channel, lots more coming. Feel free to subscribe. Thanks, and see you next time.
Does my war dance scare you, Mongolians? Yeah, you think you want a piece of this?